Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator news and updates. And as you guys know, today was, I believe, the conclusion of FS Weekend, and holy crap, was there a ton of information and new announcements coming. And I'm just trying to catch up, and as I was catching up, I figured, you know what, I'm going to share this with you guys. There is so much to talk about and so many things that are changing. Stick around.
If you are interested in any of my tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below.
All right, so first off, guys, I want to clarify something about my post that I made yesterday in my video in regards to Honeycomb being gone. When I said gone already in the thumbnail had question marks. And what I am meaning is that my speculation, I guess I should have clarified this. This is my fault and I do apologize. I should have clarified that my speculation is that honestly, and I'm just being honest, this is my opinion, that without Nikki at the helm of the development, I don't see Honeycomb surviving in the same aspect as what it was before. I'm sure Honeycomb will continue to be a company. I just don't know if it's going to be able to compete in the market. And you'll see some of what I'm talking about as we get into this, and you guys can make that decision for yourself. But I did want to apologize for that because I had a couple people instigate that my thumbnail for that video was clickbait. It really wasn't. I thought I had sort of made that pretty clear in the video, but just in case, I don't ever intend to do clickbait videos. I just simply, that was my thought. But let's get started on what's coming. So first up, let's get right out of the gate here. Microsoft Flight Simulator announces new partnership with Embraer, which, by the way, guys, real quick shout out to FS Elite. If it wasn't for FS Elite, I wouldn't have a lot of this information today. I was just checking up on the news, and there's just a lot. So Microsoft Flight Simulator has partnered up with Embraer, and they're going to be bringing the Praetor 600 to Microsoft Flight Simulator as part of the Expert Series. Now, remember, the Expert Series is something that was announced in the early days of announcements in Microsoft Flight Simulator 24, and the idea is to have expert level aircraft, meaning high fidelity study level, if you will. There's that wonderful word. But this is supposed to be a fully modeled aircraft if it is a part of their Expert Series, as they are saying. So when are we supposed to see this? We're supposed to see this at approximately late 2025. So as early as this year, this aircraft is supposed to be hitting the market. So that will be absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, right here. Embraer 600 is set for release in the simulator later this year. Let's talk about this badass thing. The Praetor 600 is a wicked powerful aircraft. It is considered what they call a super mid-size jet. And it's both technologically and just overall avionics speaking advanced. It has a speed of Mach 0.83. It has a service ceiling of 45,000 feet and a range of over 4,000 miles, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that means that it can travel just about almost end to end of the United States, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm a little brain fried right here from reading all of this stuff, so I could be talking like an idiot. Wouldn't be the first time. So anyway, so this thing is going to be phenomenal. I am super excited for this. And a partnership with Embraer means that we'll also get other Embraer aircraft, I would assume, as time goes on. But see, so a lot of people have asked the reason why this is such a big deal. So look at like the Gulfstreams, right? A lot of people have asked, why don't we have the G650, the G6000, things like that, or 600, whatever. It's because Gulfstream has basically said no. They will not partner with Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think the only one they have partnered with, if I'm mistaken, I could be wrong, I could be mixing things up, but I think it was P3D is the only one that Gulfstream will partner up with. So in order for an aircraft to be developed at this level for a simulator at this level, you have to have a partnership with that aircraft developer, the real world developer. Sort of like PMDG with the Boeing series. They have to get permission and authorization from Boeing before they can release their products to the simulation community. They have a license with them. They have to make sure that it's vetted and that the aircraft accurately simulates the operation of the Boeing aircraft. So anyway, Super exciting stuff for there. I'm really excited for this. This will be an awesome business jet to have for our flight simulation experience. I cannot wait for this one. I think this one's going to be fun. Okay, now speaking of Honeycomb, let's talk Honeycomb. They announced some new products. I'm curious what you guys think of them. I'm sort of on the fence. I like what they were thinking. I don't like the execution so far. Why is my face so red in the camera? Holy crap, who cares? Anyways, so let's see what we got here. So they are looking at, first off, the Sierra TPM module by Honeycomb Aeronautical is designed to suit those who favor propeller-driven aircraft, such as 172. That's fine. And then, of course, so you have, that's going to be this guy right here. I like the layout of these. It does look nice and clean. I like, of course, they're keeping with the typical Honeycomb background. I like the way they've done the parking brake, the flap switch, and the trim wheel. I actually, believe it or not, I kind of like this trim wheel setup better. I think it's more suited for those of us that are limiting the space for the throttles. I really like that they kept with the same platform, because that way, if you're going to stick with Honeycomb, you can have your yoke right next to it, and it's going to have that same trim line all the way across. So if you butt them up side by side, you're going to have a really clean look to it. And then, of course, they've gone with the standard. I'm sitting there pointing like you guys can see it. The standard looks like the mount holes on top of it, so you can have aftermarket things mounted on top of it. So I like the TPM setup. Let's see what I was curious about something, and I didn't see any mention of it when I skimmed over this earlier. So I'm curious about whether or not they're going to actually have the push configuration and the ability to turn it. Trim wheel integrated parking brake, flash lever, landing gear with an LED status, plus TPM veneers with adjustment. I would assume that that's what that means. So yes, they've got the veneers. Okay, cool. So you're going to have to actually push the button if you want to push and release it, and you're going to be able to turn them, so fine tune it. That turning action to be able to fine tune them with the veneers is incredible. And the reason why is because, like, especially when it comes to setting your mixture correctly, it's not, for me, it's not as critical with the RPMs, but when you're trying to really lean your aircraft out, especially if you're trying to go lean over peak or rich over peak, it's really easy with those finite adjustments to get that plus 50 or minus 50, depending on which direction you're going. So score on them for this one. Like, this is a good one. So happy about that. This is where they lost me. The Foxtrot aviation stick. I don't like this. This screams very early flight simulation. Maybe they were going for that. And there is maybe some of you guys that absolutely dig it, and that is totally cool. But this screams to me like the old CH Pro, or even a little bit before then, flight set. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know. It looks very, I don't know how to describe it other than what I already have. It looks very outdated, very, very old school. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. They definitely got that Airbus look up on top. It seems like that's what they're going with. And what I do like is, if you notice here, what they have done here, and this is what, to developers, you guys should all be doing. There's obviously, I'm saying the doing in quotes because should you? But is keeping that neutral grip when it comes to things like Airbus flight sticks or general aviation equipment, because all of our simulation platforms are going to be different, right? For example, when you have something like, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that, like this, the Orion, it's designed strictly for right-hand traffic, right? For right-hand operation. Where something like this will be nice in the aspect that it will be very easy to swap between left and right hand, and just as comfortable either way because it's got that neutral grip. So I am kind of scoring on that one. I do like that part of it. I think that makes a lot of sense for simulators like Microsoft Flight Simulator, where they're not going to be dedicated to, say, aerial combat, where you're going to be in an F-18, F-16, something like that, where the stick needs to really kind of be on point. I know one thing that a lot of us are waiting for is multiple developers, when they develop their Airbus sticks, is to develop one for the first officer side or the pilot side, right? So anyway, you can't really see what's going on with the switches, so let's see what they got here. We're overjoyed to be able to unveil the groundbreaking new Honeycomb aeronautical products upcoming in Flight Sim Weekend, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we got that part. This brand new hardware has been designed with our community in mind, focused on quality, innovation, and with our light range preserving the quality Honeycombs is famous for focusing on outstanding value for money for those who take in flight. And I will give them that. I will never take that away from Honeycomb, no matter who's in charge of it. If they keep their price points where they always have, like I just said the other day in the video, that was the one thing that I was actually scared of for those of you who said, oh, he's saying Honeycomb's gone. No, I did not. I said, is it going to be gone? First off. Secondly, as long as they keep the price points where they were, then the marketplace needs Honeycomb, and I've said that before. So anyway, I really wish they had talked a little bit more about this. The flight stick features linear resistance system with no center detent and is ambidextrous in design. We just talked about that, so that's cool. There are a row of switch and buttons featuring 5 two-way switches and 4 programmable buttons in total. So the 5 two-way switches, okay, so that's probably going to be your lights primarily, and then a few programmables. So nothing specific in design, it sounds like. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on down here. Of course, we have the Alpha flight controls. It doesn't look like there's anything different with this one. No, that's just our Alpha. Oh, that's Alpha Light. That's what this is. So this doesn't have any other buttons, switches, or anything. That's, oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. This is just the yoke. And then here on the Bravo, this is interesting. The Bravo throttle quadrant light. So yeah, these are both considered the light. Making the accessing flight simulation hardware easier than ever before. Both controls set on focus on the essentials. The Alpha flight controls features the 180-degree rotation. We expect that, blah, blah. Okay, so my question is with this. I see what they've done here. I really hope that detent can be removed. Oh, it looks like it can. It looks like that's a cap. You can see sort of looks like a tail there. At least it looks like a cap. I don't remember reading if it said it was both control settings. The Bravo throttle quad features parking brake function, 4 exchangeable levers with adjustable tension, also up and down landing gear. It doesn't really say if that comes off. I think this is it. So it still stands with the adjustable levers. So you got 4 axis now with the flight detent. I really hope the flap detent. I really hope the flap detent can be removed. Parking brake, nose down trim. I actually kind of, okay, so there are things that I like and dislike about this one. I like the way again, I really appreciate the new trim wheel. I like this trim wheel design far better than the other one. I know what they were going with the original Bravo, with this one here. I like this trim wheel a lot better. I don't know. The overall design just seems better to me. The landing gear, I feel like in this situation, they should have ditched the LEDs and put something else here, a magneto switch, something like that. I don't know. Call me crazy. But I feel like I don't know. Maybe just, if it's going to be a light version, I would rather have more functionality than a light. But, so the thing that I'm wondering, because the thing that I'm not seeing about any of these, which is okay, I understand this is usually how these announcements go, is they're not saying anything about the price of any of these. So I'm kind of worried that they're going to be. I hope the price point of these doesn't change. I really do. But anyway, so that's Honeycomb bouncing back. Okay, now for WinWing. Holy mercy, there's a lot to talk about out of WinWing's house. Jeez Louise. Okay, so first we have the Ursa Minor Airline Throttle, which is an Airbus, is what it looks like. You have a metal throttle featuring authentic backlighting. So the metal is the first key piece there that catches my attention, because I'm sure you guys all know this looks very much so like the Thrustmaster set, but it's not. So the range of motion looks very, very similar to that of the Thrustmaster, but I don't even know that the Boeing itself has a whole ton of motion in it. I mean, it's an electrically driven aircraft, so I don't know how much throw the real thing has, but this already, for the price, it looks significantly better than that of the Thrustmaster. And Thrustmaster, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hate on you guys. I want to see you bounce back, but damn, you guys got to step it up. Anyway, so for at $130, this looks like a far better bang for the buck. So you got featuring metal detents for authentic tactile feel and sound, authentic backlighting, highly realistic horizontal and vertical mechanics. Very nice. Then you guys are going to be able to put together damn near an entire Airbus cockpit. Check this out. Keep in mind the FCP and MCDU that already exist. Okay, so then you have, for another $108, you have the Ursa Minor Airline Throttle Panel. So what are we getting here? Now we've got our Airbus speed brakes. You have your parking brake. You have, what is that? Your rudder trim, and you have your flap switch. Okay, so again, think about sort of working your way back here. And then, of course, the MIP series. Now, this is the one that I have been waiting for so long. So long. Okay, so they have the MIP series now. So this is Boeing across the board. Okay, so here's our Boeing set finally being announced. I cannot wait to get my hands on this one. This is what I've really been wanting. Same price point as the FCP, 150 bucks, and you've got yourself a very awesome main control panel for the Boeing aircraft. Now, here's where things get a little bit more interesting. Okay, so now they're also starting to break out into smaller pieces of hardware, which I found to be very interesting. So now we have the mag panel. Now this one I can't quite, other than it being a switch, I don't understand what I'm seeing here. This is why this caught interesting me. So the MIP panel, panel 3, okay, that now we're coming down to airline panel. Oh, they're not going to tell us about the mag switch, are they? Oh no, the mag panel right there. PAT 3 panel can be upgraded with a MIP mag switch. With a magnetic switch. Oh, that's what that is. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Not magneto, mag. With a magnetic switch for the auto throttle for a more authentic experience, retailing for $49.95 or pre-installed to the MIP with a PAT 3 for $199. Let's see what that looks like. Where is it? Is that it back there in the back? So that's it right there. Let me move that over for you guys. Damn it. There we go. So it's right there is what they've done here. Is what that looks like. That would be the correct location orientation for that. Okay, so that one, I'm not gonna lie, that one seems kind of silly to me. Why do that? And I'm a big proponent of WinWing. You guys know that I am. But I guess I don't quite understand why they've gone that route. Just bring that in there. Versus just having that attached. I don't know. That part's kind of odd to me. But that is one of the things about WinWing that does catch my attention, though. Is that WinWing tends to really, if you want this, you got to buy this. If you want this, you got to buy this. But at the same token, they still come way under everybody else when it comes to budget. So then, there it is, the FS panels. Okay, so now we have our, and notice they had to change all the names because of the Boeing thing. I'm not quite sure why, but anyway. So now we have for $85 more, you get the full set. Look how long that is. That is huge. They are definitely bigger than the Airbus FCPs. Like, they have to be. They look like they are, that's for sure. This one was another one that I found very interesting. Ending the MIP series announcements was the MIP Combat 13 CNI MU panel, similar in looks with a Boeing 730, everything but in combat style. Let's take a look at this. Huh. I wish this was a better image. This is a pretty crappy image of this. So it's hard to read what that is. That's a mark. That still looks like a legs page. Power up, align. Data transfer. Be interesting to see how this works in action and what the idea behind this is. Unfortunately, I don't have any more information on that yet. This is where things start to get nuts. The WinWing Cyber Taurus. WinWing also announced new products in the Cyber Taurus series, including 3 new force feedback joysticks and bases and a rudder pedal set. The base product, the Cyber Taurus joystick base, will include professional electronics load control, belt-driven construction, so it's not direct drive, which I guess I don't really know how that would be direct drive now that I think about that. A rated output of 20, nanometers of torque, and will retail for $414.95, so $415 bucks. I don't know why they do that. $414.95, just say $415. Like here, just say $700. I don't know why they do that. Okay, so let's start taking a look at some of this stuff. This is really interesting. So here's the low joystick base. Again, $414, and there's going to be a lot of force feedback stuff to talk about here in the next couple of days. Then you have with the load control, that's $700. That's up to 60 nanometers. Whoa. Or no, it's newtons. Is it Newton? Anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter. And then finally here we have the rudder pedals. Look how bulky they are. Damn, they're huge though. Which again, I don't know how you would make that any smaller. I really don't. That's not a shot at them. That's just like, damn, it's thick. So anyways, $800 for force feedback rudder pedals. Whew. And then this guy. Look at that. And you got your rudder pedals attached. Now this would be for a die-hard. You'd have to be Boeing, I think. Maybe not necessarily have to be Boeing. I mean, you have Embraer and things like that. You'd have to be willing to lose that forward and aft and recognize that it's on that pendulum. That pendulum feeling is different when you're flying with it, but still wicked. And of course, price to be announced. I'm going to guess $1,400. Put your guesses down in the comments below. And actually, let's see here. Nah, never mind. I'm going to guess 2,000. I'm going to guess 2,000. Okay. And that wrapped up WinWing's presentation. Like, holy crap, though, dude. Oh, man. So you got a ton of stuff rolling out from WinWing. Like, they are not holding back at all. I think I did. I screwed up my microphone. There we go. Okay, so we're not done yet. FlightSim.com. You guys remember them, the CLS60 force feedback yoke. I've showcased it here a couple times on the channel. So the Singapore-based company, FlightSim.com, has unveiled their upcoming product line in Presentation FS Weekend 2025. Fabian, really good guy, by the way, talked to him a bunch of times, develops flight simulation hardware with a focus on modular technology and cost-effective solutions for the serious enthusiast. I agree with that. FlightSim.com is definitely a route that you're going to want to consider going if you're wanting to build what I would consider a damn near identical cockpit. Doesn't have to be, but you're going to want this stuff if you are wanting a very, very authentic, very, very high precision equipment with high accurate configurations to the real thing. So let's take a look at some of this stuff and you guys will see what I'm talking about. The G1000 PFD and MFD panel, normally $3,200 on sale right now. It sounds like for $3,000 basically. Now, here's the one thing that I will say about this, and you guys know, again, they are also a partner of mine. I have the CLS60 sitting right here on the shelf, and I'm going to come out and say it. The problem that I have with this price is that there are multiple options that from the outside looking in, at least from my experience, are significantly cheaper and do the exact same job. So that is my concern with that, but it's hard to say. Again, if you are looking for that one-to-one perfect authenticity, I am not going to take that away from FlightSim.com. Their stuff is right up there with Virtual Fly. It feels very, very authentic, very, very real, very, very high quality. But for example, my Flight Sim Builder G1000 that I have, to me, feels just as good. So it's really hard to say what the thoughts are there. So that's their G1000 series. And again, extremely high quality. And if you've got the money and you want the best of the best, this is definitely one of those options. Absolutely. Moving forward, this thing is absolutely phenomenal. I got to play around with this thing a little bit at the Flight Sim Expo back in Vegas, or at least something that was similar to this. So this is the FC50 flight console with a single engine aircraft. And you see it's got the TPM back there and it operates just like the real thing and it feels smooth as hell. And yet has that real world tension like you are actually pushing in controls that are going to impact the engine performance. Landing gear handle, same thing, has that pull function out of it. Everything on this thing feels solid, feels real, feels very, very authentic. It's a very, very heavy product. You can see you got everything that you need from parking brake to magneto switches, all your lights and cabin and master battery. I mean, it's got everything. So again, and what you can also do with this is you guys can see the cutout here is you can combine that with something like the CLS60 or the CLS50, that force feedback yoke that can go inside that container. Now, I believe you have to pre-request that and they can assemble it for you. They'll handle that part of it, but you can have it to where it's all one unit, and that is certainly something to be said for that. So again, if you were to take something like this, build it on a platform, then put your G1000s, series up on top if you wanted. Me, I'm more into the steam and analog gauges, but unfortunately those are becoming a thing of the past. That's just a reality of the world that we live in. Why is that so dark right now? Katoosh! There we go. Hey, he's back. So that's something to be considerate of there too. But fantastic equipment. And of course, again, we've spoken about this, the CLS60 yoke. I have this thing. I've done multiple reviews of this on my channel. It is absolutely phenomenal. The accuracy, the feel, the overall simulation that is provided by the CLS60 is on par. It's gone through multiple firmware updates, multiple software updates. And speaking of the software updates, you now have a new and improved software look. This used to be, it looked very, very old, very, very outdated, and they have done a lot of work. It's been completely revamped, completely rewritten, and the new software is much more user-friendly and much, much easier to tweak and set to your desired settings, and of course, be able to upload and download profiles. So it is very, very, very nice, guys. So with FlightSim.com, you're going to spend significantly more money, but you're going to get what you pay for. That much I will promise you. You definitely get what you pay for. The quality is 100% there, but it's expensive. But really, really cool stuff. I mean, especially if you have the space to build a dedicated cockpit for like a Cessna 172 or 182, something like that, or anything with, you know, the TPM with throttle prop mixture. For those of you who don't know what TPM is, they are definitely a big consideration for you. At least they should be. And finally, oddly enough, I had to find this on a different website outside of Flight or FS Elite. I'm not quite sure why. But we have Meridian GMT has announced the initial product line. Now, you guys can see some comparison here. Probably looks pretty familiar. And either way, I'm glad the Honeycomb thing is gone. I never liked the Honeycomb look. I have to be honest. The actual Honeycombs, I hate it. And I think the biggest thing is because I live in Tucson, and keeping the dust out of that thing was such a pain in the ass. It was awful. Now, again, interesting choice of setups here. So let's take a look at what we got here. So first off, the yoke is going to be modular, meaning that you're going to be able to remove the yoke and replace it with something different. So moving forward here it is with the yoke removed. Now, again, I wish that we could have seen these a little bit better, but you can definitely see some landing lights, some taxi lights, different lighting set that looks like strobe lighting. Here you have your beacon, and I can't remember what the last one is. You have anti-ice, your overhead, wiper, and seat belts. I will say that the buttons, I hope, are different because, yeah. Main panel configuration. So here's your PFD and MFD display switches and your lower DU. So this is more for the commercial setup. Well, as you guys can see there. But I still think even there, they chose odd buttons, odd switches. And I hope that this isn't finalized because I think that they could do better than this when it comes to what switches to choose. Like anti-ice, I mean, for most of the aircraft, it's an automated system. You know, you can even set them to auto. So I don't know. I guess I would have picked different buttons here. The master caution, master warning. I actually like that they added that. But I hope there's something different here. Let's see what we got in the general aviation. General aviation multi-engine turboprop. So you have your avionics, your master battery, your master alternator, your chronometer. Again, same lights. It looks like all the way across. And your engine 1, engine 2 magnetos. Okay, so that's nice. I like the magneto switches. Thank you. We don't have enough products with the magneto switches in them, especially for dual engine. So multi-engine magnetos, that's a nice touch. I really do like that. I appreciate that. This is sick. Okay, so now here we got, again, it looks like mostly your lighting. No, that's more icing. But I mean, I suppose at the end of the day, you could bind them to whatever the hell you wanted. But the radio stack looks awesome. Now, these look like digital mock-ups, right? So I don't know if these are actually built. It's hard to say. I can't really tell. I mean, it is hard to tell these days. But anyway, the flap switch, I really like the positioning of that. Again, 3-position landing gears. I can't really see what that is. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on right there, but this looks amazing. That's your vertical speed autopilot system. This looks good. Again, your TPM, I like this design significantly better. And I know it looks just like a Bravo. It looks very similar, but there is yet a difference between them. And you can see the trim wheels still on the side, but now it looks like they're on both sides of it. I still wish I would. I can't. Oh, that's your auto brake. That's what that is. It's an auto brake switch. So that's RTO, off, disarm, and then your auto brake configurations. Okay. Look at that. Could you imagine that? Like if they actually pin this together. So you're obviously going to have multiple configurations that you can buy, which I hope that these autopilot panels are completely separate. And I think that I read that. We'll get back to that. Let's see here. So let's come down here. Which is the product line I'm most excited about? The Tango Plus throttle quadrant, like Sierra Plus. The Tango Plus builds on the previous design success, adding modularity, among other features. The Meridian has packed the Tango Plus with the features including the annunciator panel, trim wheel, exterior light switches, auto brake knob, and more. The flagship of the features Tango Plus is a swappable avionics and throttle configurations. Users can customize their quadrant based on the type of aircraft they are flying. There you go. So yeah, you can absolutely swap everything out. Dude, that is sick. Look at that. So that's Airbus. Oh, and then you have these two. Now, one of these is for, so this is going to be your throttles, trim wheel. So for you Xbox controllers, I mean, there's the Xbox logo. There you go. And then I believe, if I remember, one of them is designed for helicopters, which I do not see listed here. That kind of sucks. Anyway. So a lot going on, you guys. Holy crap, there is a lot going on. Like, mercy. And then on Tuesday the 18th, so in 2 days from this video, there's another product line that I finally get to share with you guys for flight simulation that is being released. So excited about that. 2025 is the year for flight simulation, man. It is the year of ingenuity. It is the year of new features and new controls, and hopefully companies who are keeping these in financial reach of people. That's the only thing that always scares me with some of these stuff is I hope they just don't price it out of the reach, and that's the tough part. But let me know what you guys are most excited about. I am very excited for the Meridian GMT. I think that's absolutely slick as hell. And I'm very excited for the WinWing product line. I really can't wait for that stuff to hit the market. But tell me what you guys are really excited about. As always, guys, stay safe and healthy. See you in the next one.